Alright, everyone. Welcome back to part 5 of what Naruto had the Kage Kage no Mi Devil Fruit. I am not completely out of it. I am very tired. I am very achy. I have a bit of a cough. No sore throat. Still have my sense of smell and my sense of taste. Um, and I'm probably going to be exhausted, so I'm going to be just out when I go to bed. Right now, I haven't retaken a test. I did test positive on a COVID test earlier today. It turns out that I mentioned in the Who Would Win that test was out of date. And then the test we took with the most updated tests, I came negative, even though my girlfriend was positive. But I am feeling COVID-y symptoms right now. I'm not completely dead or anything. I'm actually still relatively functional. But I'll have to take a test tomorrow morning to see if I'm actually positive or not. If it's like the incubation period is uh, kicked in yet or whatever. But anyway, I still want to try to get the what if out before I go to bed. I'm not certain how long I'll go in this particular what if, but we'll see. Last time on the Naruto what if, though, Naruto and the gang were in the Forest of Death. Naruto got separated from their group, and Orochimaru had cornered Sasuke and Sakura, testing Sasuke out. Ultimately, for Naruto to show up and save the day, let's call it. Now, he shows up right before Sasuke tossed the scroll. And that's where we catch up with. Orochimaru obviously looks at Naruto. Naruto, I see you were able to defeat my little friend. So he sent the snake. Okay. It's like, Naruto, get out of here. Go. And we give you the scroll. You leave us alone. Very sensible. Offer up a smaller piece of food so the predator will become distracted. And he tosses the scroll, and so Naruto quickly just rushes in, grabs the scroll. And I don't think he necessarily needs. He uses his shadow to grab the scroll. He certainly could, but he needs his shadow for other things. Like if the shadow is holding the scroll, that means the shadow is actually somewhat hindered in combat. Even though in theory you could just store the scroll in the shadow, even if the shadow is impervious to harm, you'd still risk damage to the scroll. So it's better Naruto just holds on to it. And so Naruto, punches Sasuke. I might not know the passer, but I know who I am. But who are you? You're not Sasuke. Sasuke's not a coward. Besides, there's no way there's no guarantee he would have let us live regardless. That's very true. Unfortunately, Naruto, I don't have time to play with you right now. Naruto comes in, tries to attack. The snake comes in and is about to engulf him. Just as all of a sudden the snake just drops, it's like, what did he? And all of a sudden, Naruto's shadow is holding the giant shadow of a snake, and just he feeds it to his shadow, and the shadow just looms over Naruto, getting bigger from the massive f-off shadow of the snake he just ate. Because I don't know if it's proportional to the size of the shadow growing based on the size of the shadow he ate, but if we assume there's at least some level of proportionate strength and size, the shadow gets really big. Naruto essentially is exercising chakra control all the time when he's keeping his shadow in check, which means he's actually doing chakra control exercises, like I just said, all the time, meaning he's constantly increasing his chakra control to pretty good degrees. Orochimaru, meanwhile, his eyes kind of go a little wide, but kind of his smirk grows out. Interesting. Interesting. You must be the fox. But you don't look like a Nara, and this is not a technique I'm familiar with. Tell me, Naruto, how exactly did you do that? Would you like to know? The shadow comes out and tries to attack him, but Orochimaru does just blow him back with Winjutsu. Summons another snake to just attack him. Naruto does get struck as the shadow tries to block it, but gets thrown into Naruto. Naruto is just and then he activates the Fox Chakra, which triggered in that moment. And one cool thing I think we can do is kind of transfer the fox chakra partly into his shadow. It gains almost like a demonic fox, like werewolf form, the more chakras going in there. So you see it go wild. All of a sudden the shadow wraps around, takes out the snake. Naruto comes in, and they're just clashing and trading blows for a little bit. Orochimaru's like, it can't be the fox brat, but what is this power over shadows he possesses? All of a sudden, he sees Naruto try to slice out his shadow, but Orochimaru backtracks. It's like, what was that? How could he? And all of a sudden, the snake gets back up, only for Naruto the shadow of Naruto to come and, with a kunai in its hand, cut the shadow of the snake and just, I see. Impossible, he stole the shadow. He consumed it. Such a dangerous ability. And this is an ability Orochimaru would have no defense against. no defense, although because it's Orochimaru and parts of his soul exist within each course mark, he has ways of circumventing it should he get his soul taken. But there's a lot of fingers crossed to happen in that scenario. Hell, Orochimaru, the only reason he survived was by sheer grace of luck and Sasuke needing questions answered. That was really the only reason Orochimaru survived the series at all. He was dead. Well, dead might be a bit of a great. He was sealed away, gone. Like he wasn't coming back. And then Sasuke, through a combination of Curse Mark and Jugo's flesh, was able to bring him back through shenanigans. Either way, though, Naruto does pose a threat here to Orochimaru, and Orochimaru can tell. So the snake he summons one more snake, bypasses Naruto, and Shadow goes straight for Sasuke. Naruto comes, stops it along with the Shadow, and to which Naruto then quickly says, "Yeah, go do it, go after him." And then the Shadow goes after Orochimaru, who's fighting with the Shadow. And it's coming in and hitting hard. Like it's Fox imbued chakra with the Shadow. So it's not just tapping him. It's coming in and swiping and clawing. Maybe it can theoretically, that's something it can do, morph its body into blades or whatever. Orochimaru's like, tries to hit it. He can't hit it. Naruto calls Sasuke a coward for destroying the snake. And basically just tells Sakura, I was like, Sakura! It's like, that was it. Take it. So Naruto goes back in, and just as Orochimaru is about to try to use fireball, or great flame jutsu, or dragon fire, as he's about to just burn the Shadow, which that would be detrimental to the Shadow, Naruto quickly comes in and just replaces himself with the Shadow. Like, what? And it's like, Shadow Clone Jutsu! Or multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu! And they just take the brunt of it, kind of like they did with the pain attack. Just, and then the Shadow is coming from behind, and the Shadow's coming from behind Naruto, or Orochimaru, trying to attack. Naruto and him are now swapping places. It connects back with Naruto, only for him to summon all the clones, so they now have their shadows, and now they're basically doing kind of, he's like, Uzumaki! It's like, Naruto, Uzumaki art! Shadow Barrage Jutsu! As he just basically teleporting between the shadows, and Orochimaru's like, there's too many. It's almost like the yellow flash is back. The shadow flash. That's not a, well, he's not flashing though. But Konoha's, what would be an equivalent term? I mean, he's not flashing. But I guess Minato doesn't flash he's called the yellow flash because he moves so fast and his hair is yellow. Konoha's dark flash? I don't mind shadow flash. I don't know. Let me know some ideas for like a nickname Naruto could have. Because that's not a bad nickname if you could justify it. And Orochimaru directly compares this to Minato. Unfortunately, Naruto is starting to tire out. Like, he's got the Fox Chakra running through him, and it's augmenting his abilities, but his stamina is starting to run low. Excuse me. Orochimaru also is consciously trying to avoid having his shadow stolen, as he's seen the technique before. There we go. Sorry, I had a burp, and then I'm like, oh god, I have another one. Because I'm talking at a reasonable pace, so it's kind of sucking in some air. But he's moving so quickly that he can't get a beat on Naruto, so he basically has to use some jutsu to just fall back. And he's like, no, I will have Sasuke. I will. And all of a sudden he hears the Amukan, curses. Curse you, new nine-tails brat. And he just has to disappear. And Naruto just finally just brings everything back in. Just even Naruto's stamina, like he's going ham on Orochimaru. So even Naruto's stamina can only do so much. The Anbu show up. Sasuke feels terrible. Like, he feels like a wuss. He thinks about his brother and everything his brother said. And Naruto's like, everyone okay? It's like, Naruto, are you okay? And where did he go? I don't know. He fled somewhere that way. Would you like help? But do you need any assistance? Keep in mind, if we give you assistance, you will be disqualified from the Chunin exams. They looks like, no, we should be fine. They go off. Naruto's tired, so he's basically just conked out as he sleeps, rests it off. His shadow, that's another thing. I don't know if, say, the shadow can act on its own while the user is asleep. I don't know if there's any precedent to that. Let me know, Bleach viewers, if there's any precedent for that. I'm not familiar with there being any, at least from the description I have. But if he could, that would make for a great defense system while he sleeps. Um, and so Sasuke is just also resting. He helped Sakura set some traps. He probably even helped elaborate the traps, given the fact that's one of the things he's been practicing is his ninja abilities. So along with the logs, the tripwires, there's probably also some flash bombs, smoke bombs, maybe some kunai set up. But the whole time Sasuke is looking at Naruto, and he was able to fend off that guy. When they said who it was, Orochimaru of the Sannin, Sasuke, being one of the better educated of the group, actually probably knows who that is. And so he's like, Naruto was able to actually keep him at bay. Keep in mind, the only reason Naruto was able to keep him at bay, didn't beat him, mind you, but keep him at bay, was A, because he was Fox Chakra enhanced, and B, he had an ability Orochimaru was not prepared for and had to be very conscious of. Add on Shadow Clones. Orochimaru was not prepared for Naruto. If Orochimaru was prepared for Naruto, Naruto would not have won that fight. He would not have put, let me rephrase that. He didn't win the fight. He would not have done well in that encounter. So, or anywhere near as well. So Sasuke is just kind of fuming about it. What happened with Orochimaru, what happened to Naruto, and his brother's words are kind of ringing through his head. Ultimately, though, the Sound 3 do come in. Naruto's still passed out. He can wake up at any point, really, if they try. But they're like, okay, we need to wake Naruto up. There's no time. And this is where Sasuke actually has that moment of, that snap back to reality. Insert Eminem song here. But that snap back to reality, like he did with Orochimaru and Naruto, and I think even Sakura to some degree. and then he basically kind of worked up the nerve to actually face Sakura or Orochimaru. Here, this is where Sasuke has that, and yeah, so the traps spring to life. They avoid the majority of them, but just as the log swings by and they avoid it, they see the flashbang on. There's a flashbang, and then the kunai come out. Zaku, I think, actually takes a couple in the arm, which pretty much just makes his arm dead, just kills his arm more or less. So that's where the damage to this arm comes in. So he can still use his vacuum palm, but or slicing airwaves. Sorry, the vacuum palm's the Hyuga technique. But right now it's hard to move it, and he's only got one. Key maybe gets one in the shoulder, but she's overall fine. And Dosu is able to avoid the kunai with his gauntlets. They're still reeling, and Sasuke comes in. It's like, Sasuke is like, I see. Wait, where is the curse mark? Well, we were told what curse? Sorry, was your boss trying to give me something? Because you can thank that loser. No, pass that over there. Just still like, but you want me? Activates the Sharingan. Come and get me. Just brings out the kunai and just comes in. Guns blazing, but it's Sasuke. So Sasuke coming in guns blazing means, oh, you're in for some trouble. Especially like back then. And especially now, as he's still one of the strongest guys around. But even then, Sasuke, at a enhanced level of strength here, guns blazing, oh, he's ready to mess some shit up. Zaku tries to do the slashing air palm, whereas Sasuke avoids it, throws some kunai, and Zaku has to get out of the way, only for Sasuke to immediately just take out Keen pretty quick. The problem in this fight for Sasuke is still Dotsu. His ability to channel and funnel sound waves into your ear directly, if you don't have like earplugs or something like that, or an ability to just ignore sound, that is a problematic ability outright for anyone, especially with someone with sensitive hearing. Like Naruto or Kiba would be in a lot of trouble with that ability. And Sasuke, unfortunately for Sasuke, he can see the airwaves. He's not even sure what it is. He just sees its chakra. And he's able to, maybe he could see it kind of its path a little bit, and maybe he could try to avoid it. Ultimately, it would be wasted effort just because eventually it would make its way to his ear. He does a fireball to stop Dosu from using his ability. It does deconstruct the airwaves to a certain degree. And so he's able to kind of offset it, only for him to finally go, just fall to the ground. Sakura suddenly shows up, and she throws some kunai again at Dosu, who just dodges, blocks, and is about to basically just put Sakura down on the ground. Except Sakura is smart enough to actually have ninja wire there, and she pulls the wire with her ears as she just as she pulls the kunai back, as Dosu sees there's at least explosive tag on both of the kunai. There was like 3 or 4 kunai, but there was like explosive tag on 2 of them. It's like shit. And he has to basically use sound waves and just like substitution try to get out of there. He comes out smoldering, but he's generally fine. Like you. All of a sudden, there is this looming darkness coming out of the tree as Naruto's shadow wakes up, and it's taking on the more fox-like form. I could see a fun thing Naruto learning to do with his shadow is kind of changing the shape of his shadow to match certain things. Because we know Naruto's like a master of the transformation. Like straight out, he's a master of it in the academy. A lot of people, I've heard some commenters say he's pretty much the best transformation user in the entire Shinobi world. And look, I always try to be devil's advocate with that, but it's hard to disagree with that. That the kid could turn into pretty much anyone he wanted to, a completely different gender, and make it believable. He could turn into inanimate objects. He could turn Gamabunta into Kurama, and not just an illusion, a physical transformation that gave him teeth and claws. And this was all in the part 1. This is only in like the first, how many arcs were we in? 1, 2, 3, 4. First 4 arcs, Naruto did all that pretty much. Naruto didn't have much use for it later on in the series. Although he did turn into rocks, things along as like turned into Kiba. He turned into multiple like naked guys to seduce Kaguya. Imagine if that really would have worked too. That would have been actually a very funny way to defeat Kaguya. I mean, you've been sealing that, the statue for how long, Kaguya? How long, Kaguya? I'm just saying, you were a woman you were maybe an alien rabbit woman, but you had needs, and you got those needs met. Hence why you had 2 kids. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with needs, ladies and gentlemen, and in betweens. Yeah, so he basically kind of creates the image of the fox looming like a shadow fox comes in, and Naruto's booming was, "You want to play?" No, we don't. Here, take the scroll. We'll leave. Keep in mind, Rock Lee and Team 10 probably did notice what was going on, and did try to show up, only for him to see this offense. Like, what was that? And Naruto, for the shadow recede as Sound Ninja flee. Neji showed up too late to see it, I think. But even he can see there's something up with Naruto's chakra when he does kind of show up. And they see, like, what was Naruto? Are you guys okay? Yes, we had come to help you, but it seems our help was not needed. Oh, wow, that's nice of you guys. Thanks. Naruto. And it's Shikamaru's like, Naruto, what was that you just did? Oh, and he does remember being told about the Nara clan and how they actually use their chakra to manipulate their shadows. That's just an ability I gained a while back after I ate some weird fruit. Weird fruit? You sure you haven't been sneaking into our compound and stealing scrolls or something? Shikamaru knows Naruto well enough actually to know that he probably wouldn't do. He's a troublemaker, sure, certainly, but he wouldn't steal from clans. Although he did steal the scroll of sealing, so there's precedent for Naruto to do something like that. But still, he knows Naruto because they were actually generally on good terms. In fact, among the people we see in the flashbacks, which aren't necessarily canon, but might as well be canon in terms of like the context they give to Naruto's backstory in the academy. Him, Choji, Kiba, and Shikamaru were actually tight enough to kind of chill and skip class together and hang out. So I imagine that even back then, people like Shikamaru and Choji were actually on relative good terms with Naruto. And so he knows Naruto probably well enough to know he wouldn't actually steal from clans. He's never done it before, but he is curious. Like, yeah, a shadow, really? He's like, oh, yeah, no, yeah. When I mentioned this to the third, you mentioned you guys and your family manipulate your shadows. That's really cool. I can't really do it the same way you can, though, but still, it's a really cool ability. Right, sure. And the shadow just gives him like yeah, you're awesome. It's like, okay. And so they hightail it. All right, well, it seems everything's fine here. And they, make the truce. And like, we're not going to attack fellow Leaf Den. We're not going to do that. And so they head off. Now, I believe at this point, though, Naruto and his team would have the necessary scrolls to pass. If I'm not mistaken, they did have that. And so Naruto and the gang head off and just make it all the way to the tower. They make it there early enough. Gaara is there as his teammate. They catch sight of each other. Gaara can actually sense something off with Naruto, as well as like blood, and he's like, It's like, good. And I think Naruto is like, Kiba and Team 8 are just like, hey, Naruto. Oh, no. Oh, hey, guys, we did it. It's like, oh, so you guys made it after all? It's like, Sasuke tries to, absolutely. You think we lose to you guys? Right. I can't wait to beat your ass in the finals. Bring it on, mutt. It's like, hey, and Shino gives them a proper congratulations to you. Yeah, thanks, Shino. Sakura's a little grossed out by him because of the bugs. Well, to be fair, it turns out most people in their class didn't even know about the bugs until he did it in the academy, or until he did an exam. But she's always found it a little weird. But so, thank you. And Hinata works out her best. Congratulations, Naruto. Oh, thanks, Hinata. It's really nice of you. I was like, And so they spend the next couple of days relaxing, getting their strength back. Ultimately, the day of the preliminaries come. Sasuke squares off against, I think it's Yori. If I'm remembering the name right, it's Yori. And without the curse mark there, Orochimaru's just like, I wanted Sasuke. I'll have him to myself. He's just staring onward. By the way, how could no one recognize that was Orochimaru? That was such an obvious Orochimaru-looking person. Especially the third, who knows what the fuck he looks like. Anyway. But regardless, that's just that by its plot. What are you going to do? Sasuke beats Yori to be senseless, like beats him to a pulp, pretty much. Yori does get the advantage on initially with the chakra absorption, but Sasuke gets out of that quickly, makes sure never to be tagged by him again. And again, just, ow, I just hit my table here. But he just goes, in the fight, he probably just closes his eyes and just flash, and maybe like a smoke bomb or whatever, right in Yori's face. He's like, ugh! And then Lions barrages him down. Then you get the only other change would really be Sakura really hasn't grown at all here. In fact, she didn't even get the growth moment she had in the Forest of Death. So actually, that raises the question: would she actually lose to Ino here? I actually don't think she would. I think you could still make the argument that she wants to help, and she sees herself kind of being like inferior to Naruto and Sasuke after a while. And even then, when she was able to help a little bit, she still wasn't able to do the bulk of it, and she just feels inadequate. So she has her own equivalency to what Sasuke had against Orochimaru, thinking of Ino and everyone, and then finally just, no more. And she cuts her hair, like, what? And then she proceeds to have her actual fight with Ino, which she loses. But now we have the the Naruto versus Kiba fight. Kiba comes in, tries to attack Naruto, only for it to be revealed by everyone. Just, what? I see. So he's finally revealed it. Now I can actually see what they can do. And because Shikamaru is interested. It's like, what the heck is this? It's like, did you know my shadow's the only one who walks beside me? I heard that in a song once, and all of a sudden the shadow punches him back. So, oh, that hurt. What the hell? And the shadow's just standing next to Naruto. Naruto makes some clones. They're still attached, but then their shadows emerge. I think the best way we can do the multi-shadow clone, multi-shadow thing is only if the shadow's still connected to Naruto can he do that. If it's not connected, I think because of the whole connection to the soul thing, you can't do that initially. But he has the shadow connected. He makes multiple shadow clones. It's like, all right, Kiba, you're pretty fast. I'll give you that. So why don't we? Let's try this. And he just comes in and charges it with the shadow. Get ready, Akamaru. And it's like he immediately gets Akamaru a pill to transform him because he was not prepared for this at all. And then Naruto's come in and they start swapping places. And once again, they completely overwhelmed their opponent like they did with Orochimaru. Now, luckily for Kiba, he does have the advantage of having a secondary ally with Akamaru, a transformed Akamaru. And they immediately just go, fang over fang. They have to just react. They're reacting at the point because they're getting beat on. And they do it, and the shadows can take the physical brunt, but Naruto's clones and his body can't. So a lot of the clones end up getting shredded. Shadows disappear. Naruto just wraps himself in the shadow, just be like, ah, and just boom, and gets blasted back. The shadow can take a lot of the damage, but he, I think, still feels like the concussive force of it. So Naruto's like, all right, fine. You want to play rough? Let's play rough. The shadow separates from Naruto. And they're squaring off, and the shadow, he does fang over fang again. This time the shadow grows larger and just catches them, just holds them right there. Just, you're not going anywhere, Kiba. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll make sure to put your shadow back after the fact. It's like, what? And then just give up, or I'm gonna have to knock you out. It's like, what the heck are you talking about? You can't just. It's like, gunk. Kiba Akamaru is unable to battle. Kiba Inuzuka is unable to battle. The winner is Naruto Uzumaki. And Naruto is like, whew, all right, sorry about that, Kiba. Luckily, we're not outside. It's the only reason he intended to do that is because they're not outside in the sunlight. So he just whoop and Kiba just what? What happened? What happened? You lost. I win, dog breath. What? How is that? It's true. You lost. You rendered you unconscious for over 10 seconds. And so Nara's like, yeah. I was like, what the heck? And even Shikamaru's like, what is his ability? What is his power? Holy crap, that's nuts. Kiba's like, you darn it! And he just walks up moping. So Naruto does still take a couple good shots though. Like he's not walking away completely. But Naruto, he not offers him the ointment, in Kiba the ointment too. And if we get to the Hinata fight, and I think the Hinata fight goes the exact same. He is able to encourage Hinata to keep fighting on. There's not much else to really say about the fight, actually. Hinata hasn't changed at all, neither has Neji. Neji is a lot more wary of Naruto, though, here than he is in the original, because he's now seen a good chunk of his ability, and it's actually kind of frightening, because he can't, while he can technically see chakra in his shadow, he doesn't see chakra points or anything like that. It's very much an ability that could theoretically be problematic for someone with the Byakugan if he's not careful. And what he doesn't even realize is Naruto could have all his chakra points sealed up and his shadow could still function. That's how this works. Might be a little bit more difficult, but his shadow could still function. So Naruto goes in, swears, I will win. And there you go. And all the other fights go down the same. The pairings are set. All the pairings should be the same as well. And so the end of the match has come. Sasuke is going to go train with Kakashi. It's like, Kakashi Sensei, I need you to train me for 2 days. Yeah, sorry, I'm going to be busy. You're going to be training Sasuke, aren't you? Now, I found you an even better teacher, which would still be Ebisu, working on the water walking, which Naruto hasn't even tried to practice, but surprisingly gets down pretty quick. And then we get the introduction of, keep it down, you keep it down. You want to get us in trouble? And there's Jiraiya being a pervert. And so Naruto meets his godfather / pervy sage sensei, and he shall be ultimately trained to him during the Chunin exams month off. But join us next Wednesday for that particular what if. So thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.